like I was. When I stepped into their walk-in humidor, over 500
He did the R1
labels to choose.
The great Steph McKenzie. Look
What's
at
up,
this.
everyone?
Queen of Raider Nation. All Raider Nationed out.
I am always representing.
What's going on today? What are we? It's like Cowboy meets Raiders.
I just came back from Montana. That's why. It's my Montana dress.
And what? Even the watch looks Raiders.
Can I tell you something I found out? You probably already know this.
Okay.
Did you know that Bill Foley owns Whitefish, Montana ski resort?
I did not know that.
I had my whole Raiders outfit on.
Wow.
And out of the blue, the waitress says, "Do you like the Vegas Golden Knights?" And I thought it was such a random question. And I said, "Well, yeah." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Because the Vegas Golden Knights are always here." So there you go. That was my Raider Vegas Golden Knights.
Thanks for coming.
Love you. Bye, Raider Nation. Love you guys. Go Raiders.
Yes. Mendoza. Yeah, we're doing USA hockey today.
Yes.
Jeremy Roenick joins us.
The JT the Brick Show. This is the Silver and Black. This is the Raiders. This is a historic franchise. This is no ordinary job. Your Silver and
Got a hockey goal
to stand up for over 25 years. I don't care if I offend somebody. If it isn't right, I'm going to stop practice. We're going to do it the right way. And now, here's JT the Brick.
Out of the gate. Yes, out of the gate. JT as we roll on Combine Week. Yes, Combine Week as I'm back here in Vegas on the powerful flagship of the Silver and Black. Raider Nation Radio. We are live on YouTube. I don't like when there's not 400 people in my YouTube when I start. It pisses me off. My show starts now. It doesn't start 20 minutes from now. Get your ass in here. Get in here. JT the Brick on YouTube. I want to see some people. Yes, USA. We're going to get to that. Jeremy Roenick joins us today, my buddy JR. Jeremy Roenick will join us, and we're excited for that as we open up the show. And I hope everybody had a good weekend, good Olympics, and everybody's ready for the Combine. All right. I had an exciting morning today. I'll share a couple of photos later. The Raiders came to my house this morning at the crack of dawn, literally at the crack of dawn, and set up a whole video room in my house. And I sat down and spoke with the Raiders archive team about the history of the Raiders and some of the things I know about some of the alumni and players and the history of the Silver and Black and everything that I know about Silver and Black production. So my wife put out a nice spread. We had a camera crew, a whole bunch of cars in the driveway, and I just got here. And we spent about 3 hours today telling stories about my life with the Silver and Black and some of my favorite players, which was really cool. So that was fun today, and I had a great time. Very, very humbling after lighting the torch at the end of the year and to do what I was able to do today. So that was fun, but we got some work to do this week, and this week is going to be about the Combine. So Vinny Bonsignore is back. Q Myers is back, so they're there. So hopefully we're going to get some interviews from there. I got a couple of insiders who are going to join us. Jarrett Bailey today from USA Today, who's really good. And every day this week, I'm going to be talking about a couple of things. We'll be talking about the Combine, but that tends to be boring. Combine talk is very weird. It's very weird. It's got to be good. It's hard to be good because everybody's guessing. But the Combine's going to be big this year because everybody's talking about the Silver and Black. There is the whole deal with the first pick overall that we're all assuming is going to be Fernando Mendoza. Mendoza Monday. I own it. Get away from it. Don't touch it. I own Mendoza Monday. I had that first. When he was playing in college, I had it. Mendoza Monday. Welcome to Mendoza Monday on the JT the Brick Show. Number two, there's the Max Crosby element of all this. As a lot of people are out there now trying to stir the pot about Max Crosby, who's under contract with the Raiders, but everybody else who wants Max Crosby is putting out clickbait, and some of the people that want to keep Max Crosby are putting out clickbait. I will be with Max all Friday evening as I get the chance again for over 20 years to MC the Commitment to Excellence Awards, which is Friday night here in Vegas on behalf of Max and Rachel Crosby. So I will be with Max for 4 or 5 hours. Okay. And I'm not looking to stir the pot. Okay. It's about making money for his foundation. It's about celebrating him being the first ever 5-time winner of the Commitment to Excellence Award. Used to be the Gorman Award. Came to by Clem Daniels coming up with the idea. It was called the Gorman Award, where the first ever winner of the Gorman Award was the Mad Bomber, Darryl LaMonica, and then after that, Jim Otto. And those guys were great. And they won the award, but Max is winning it 5 years in a row. So we're gonna go out there and talk to Max and have a good time, but it's going to be a casual setting. It's not going to be, hey, please come into the green room. Are you leaving? Are you staying? Please let me know. I want to break the news. I want to put it out on Twitter. I want to have it first. No, none of that. None of that. We're adults in the room. Okay. Max is under contract. He plays for the Raiders. Is there a chance that a blockbuster deal could go down? Sure. There's a chance anything can go down. There's a chance there could be a bomb cyclone snowstorm that hit Montauk with 30 inches of snow today. Normally it doesn't happen. It happened. Well, when I look at Max, when we need information, we'll find out about it. And I'm sure if Max Crosby ever makes a decision and he's thinking of that, I am positive that I will be one of the few guys in the room that get to know it when that happens. And it hasn't happened yet. But look, we'll see what happens at the Combine, because there's a lot of people doing their stand-up hits, Clay, on their microphone. They're doing their stand-up as they're there, and they're saying, Mendoza's not throwing. He's not doing anything, and no one else cares about any of these other guys nationally. So let's talk Max Crosby for 2 hours because he might be an Eagle or a Patriot or a 49er. That's what's going down today.
Yeah, because almost every other fan base is thinking of, hey, this is new news. This is something that makes our team better, which is funny because there's a little bit of fatigue in Raider Nation about this particular topic. But for the rest of the league, everyone seems to feel like they have a chance to have a trade opportunity to get the great Max Crosby.
That is an unbelievable point, as always, by Clay. The other teams out there have no news. None, other than Seattle winning the Super Bowl. So, yeah, they'll do a segment on WEEI in Boston on Max Crosby, or on WIP in Philly on Max Crosby. They'll do a whole segment on WDFN in Detroit on Max Crosby, pairing up with Aiden Hutchinson, and especially the Score in Chicago. They'd love to have Max Crosby, but he's our guy. He's our guy. And he's a great player. And he's trending to be one of the great Raider players of all time. And in order to do that, you got to win. You got to win him in the playoffs. And, Max has been to the playoffs here once, and he should have been here more. And I understand why people are saying that maybe Max, in the absolute prime of his career, and I think he's going to be in his prime for a number of years, deserves to win somewhere else. And no, I got a guy here in my chat saying Max likes the drama. You're an idiot. No, he doesn't. Max doesn't like the drama. Max has told you he doesn't like the drama. If you watch any of the content that Max is putting out on The Rush or on the Let's Go podcast, he's saying just the opposite. He doesn't like the drama at all. He just wants to go out and play football. That's the truth, because Max is saying that. Other people are creating the drama. They are creating the drama overall. So, but, everything evolves in life, man. Everything changes. Everything changes. And we're in sports for a living. This isn't do or die, man. This isn't cancer research. This isn't the military. This isn't serious stuff. Every once in a while, you get it right, you get it wrong. You thought there'd be a trade, there wasn't. You thought there'd be a pick, it wasn't. So you get over it. But now, as we live in a society of social media, everybody's keeping score. Everybody wants to keep score now on social media. And some of the people on social media don't even have a picture of themselves or their real name, but they want to keep score. No. Grow a pair. As I say, sound off like you got a pair. Grow a pair. Put your face on your X account. Put your face in your real name and give us some opinions. Tell us what you think. It's not hard to do it. And the Combine is open for business. I find this pretty interesting. I talked about it today with the Raiders. I think that Mendoza's a lock to go number one. And then the first pick for the Raiders is the next pick, the first pick in the second round. I think that is a massive, massive pick. Massive. One of the more important picks that I've seen in a while. We've taken Jackson Powers Johnson in the second round. We took Jack Besh in the second round. Okay, we've taken some picks in the second round that have been okay, average players, but they didn't live up to their second round grade. This pick in the second round needs to be great. As I've suggested to you, this is just my opinion, no one's else. I would like to trade back into the first round to go get another first round player. I don't care about the 10 picks. I never have. Have you been watching the drafts around here lately? I'm willing to give this new group a great chance. I think they'll do a great job at the draft. But last year, at the end of the 7th, 8th, and 9th round picks, Clay, we're taking projects. Oh, he might be a quarterback. Out of Montana. Oh, he might be a guy we can play quarterback or wide receiver. They're not here. Well, how'd those picks work out? I don't care about those picks. I care about the guys who are going to make the team, who are at the combine right now, who are projected to be in the first 3 rounds. That's it. Just go get those guys who are really good. Give us 3 elite draft picks. You got the first pick, it's going to be elite, or it's going to be elite on paper. The second pick in the draft, it should be the first of the second round. Here's what the second pick's going to look like. Thursday night, the draft is going to end. If the Raiders don't trade up into the first round, which I would like them to do, I'd like them to get 2 picks in the first round. Because you think they're rebuilding. I don't. I think they're reloading. So you know how to reload? Get 2 first-round picks. And you don't have to trade max for that. You got the first pick overall. You got the first pick in the second round. You can easily move up with that pick. And then if you get out of Thursday night with 2 picks, one's Mendoza and the other guy's going to block for Mendoza, who is an elite first-round offensive lineman, not a project, but a guy who's going to play, he's going to start, then shut down the draft for me. I'm good. I'll follow the rest of it. I'll be reporting on it. We'll be hosting some stuff. But I want to know who these stars are that are coming in. We gave up a 3rd rounder for Geno. We gave up a 5th rounder for Kenny Pickett. Oh, boy. I repeat, we gave up a 3rd rounder for Geno, who doesn't play, and we gave up a 5th round pick for Kenny Pickett, who they wouldn't play. So you really care about 5th, 6th, 7th round picks? Yeah, you need those guys. You're going to make up the football team. You got to have depth. You got to have backups. You got to have linebackers. So you might get a linebacker in the 6th round, and that linebacker might make the team and might start because we got holes at linebacker. But I'm trying to focus on the obvious stuff that's going to make a difference. Mendoza, obviously number 1. The number 2 pick to me is colossal. It's important. It's got to be great. Okay? Not great potential like Jackson Powers Johnson, who I'm a fan of. Not great potential like Jack Besh, who I love. I love Jack Besh. Love him. We got to get a rock star with that second pick, Clay. You would agree? That second pick, it better be a name that you and I are familiar with, who's going to come here and not deal with the coaching staff, who's going to say, you need to compete and prove to me that you're worthy enough. No. I don't want to hear, because I love Pete Carroll. I bought into the competition, Pete. I don't need a 2nd-round draft pick coming in on a private jet telling me that he's going to compete at the end of training camp to play. I need to know that guy can play.
There's no time for development. Those days, I understand we're going through a rebuild or a reset, but guys have to be drafted as high as that. They need to start. They need to be impact players. They have to be. In fact, you got to fill at least 4 or 5 players from the top 100, 110 to go and say, we have now got this draft that we feel good about because we're going in the right direction. Yeah, everyone's going to get taught, but we can't have guys not coming out of the box cold and not ready.
Yes. Thank you. You know why I can't do my show at the Combine? Because I talk this loud. Can you imagine me on radio or on the Combine? I'd be like, hey, everybody, welcome back. It's JT. I'm at the Combine. Not that you don't have to do that. Q will have a big voice, as he always has, but I can't yell and scream at the Combine like I'd like to. So my level of sense of urgency is pretty high, considering I haven't had a vacation in a really long time for a guy who likes to be on a beach this time of year. So I'm going to check out a little bit after we do some really good Combine and some free agency talk, and I'm going to watch them put the team together. We're going to wait for the schedule release. We're going to have some fun in the offseason. I'll come up with a special project. All right. The other topic today, I should have led with it. I apologize. Freddie Biletnikoff's 83 today. Freddie Biletnikoff's birthday, 83. We have a lot of former Raider players who have never made it to their 80s. We are here today to celebrate Fred Biletnikoff, who watches this show live in his house on YouTube. So I need some Biletnikoff calls today. One of the great treasures in the history of the Raider organization, Fred Biletnikoff, who I spoke about today in my home very passionately about. I have only one dad. My dad's the greatest dad of all time, and he'll never be topped. Fred Biletnikoff is a father-like figure to me out west. And I think the world of Freddie. It's his birthday today. We get a chance to see him a lot. I just saw him on Friday. So I wanted to address that. So it's Freddie Biletnikoff's birthday today. There should be some Raider fans that call my show today wishing Freddie a happy birthday and tell a Freddie story. That's Sports Talk Radio, 702-365-9200. Another important announcement. So Friday I was off, and I was up in the Bay Area for Cheryl Nichols' Celebration of Life. I played a role in helping MC a portion of it. Cheryl Nichols, who got hired by the Raiders on her 30th birthday and worked past her 80th birthday, the only employee in Raider history to work 50 consecutive years, I believe, in that role. A powerful woman, a pioneer, a deep member of the organization. And I was up there with a lot of former Raiders and legends and executives, and they all got to speak on behalf of Cheryl Nichols on Friday night. And that was a very important part of my chapter with the Raiders, to be a part of that. So Cheryl passed away a while ago, but she was so powerful. She said, no, we're not doing it during the season. That's how much juice she had. No, we're not celebrating my life during the season. That will not be a distraction. And we did that on Friday. And it was a beautiful, beautiful, powerful celebration of life. I've been at funerals. I've been to wakes. The new thing is celebration of life, which I like. This was next level on steroids. This was like wow stuff. And for those who spoke, including Mark Davis, emotionally. So that was on Friday. Wanted to mention Cheryl here in the monologue as we get going. So that's the Raider portion of the monologue, brought to you by PTs. They fuel the monologue, 5 to 7, midnight to 2, the best happy hour in town. Do you know how many PTs in the Valley were packed for the USA-Canada game that hit at 5 in the morning Pacific time? They did a beautiful job at Golden Entertainment and all their properties. Well done. Now let's get to Team USA. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. What happened? How the hell do you play in the Olympic gold medal game, Canada, and only score one goal with McJesus and all those all-stars? It's supposed to be your sport, not ours here in the States. And the United States of America beat Canada to win the gold medal at the Olympic Winter Games. A tremendous sports moment of our lifetime to see the young guns of the United States beat the heavily favored Canadians and do it at the grand stage of the Olympics. And we did it in overtime. Great win. Here's how it sounded as the United States put it away and won the gold medal.
Jackie's pushing up. The United States recovers. Walk across the touch. Jackie's with you. The game is beat for the United States. Since the 1980 the United States takes the ball.
That is a great call by Kenny Albert. You're never going to be Al Michaels. Do you believe in miracles? That can never be topped. So you can't top that. And Kenny Albert came in there with a beautiful call, tremendous call as the United States wins. So there's been a little bit of blanking and moaning. Canadians are really upset. The Canadians are upset because they feel like the game shouldn't have ended with a golden goal, 3-on-3. That's fair. I don't like 3-on-3 in overtime, Clay. I don't know if you do. I'd like to see sudden death, 5-on-5. It could be 2 or 3 overtimes. I thought 3-on-3 wasn't great, but that's the rules. And who the hell's complaining out of Canada? They got the greatest goal scorers in the world in Canada. What are they bitching and moaning about?
Yeah, if you have the most talented team, 3-on-3 benefits you. If you have the fastest team, it benefits you. That was in Canada's benefit. I'm sorry it didn't work out that way, but it's international rules, and you know that going in.
Yeah, you know that going in. So what did that game mean to you? Quick story for me. My wife and I went out Saturday night to dinner at Capo's. If you've never been to Capo's, and I just want to tell you, Capo's is pretty ridiculous. I mean, Tommy answers the door at the speakeasy. He's wearing a gangster outfit, sits us down with another couple, best table in the house. We're having a great dinner. Wife and I get home a little late. Wife sets the alarm. Thank you. Wife set the alarm. Kind of roll over around 5:15, got it on. Now we're into the game. Backyard brick. I crack one open at 7:55 a.m. a Modelo. You wouldn't believe how many trolls ripped on me for drinking my favorite beer. Oh, it's not an American beer. It's the best beer I've ever had. It's great. What are you talking about? I celebrated. Sunday was a celebration as the United States of America won the gold medal. I'm not here to beat up Canada for this. We need Canada. So as I look on my YouTube at JT the Brick YT Live, our Canadian brothers to the north, we have not been what you expect us to be. Okay, you got a lot of people that are triggered, not about sports, but about other things. That's not my realm. I love Canada. As I said in my video, I've been to 54 Rush concerts. Okay, I love everything about Canada. But we beat you again. And the Canadian teams can't win the Stanley Cup. They just can't. The whole sport is mostly made up of Canadians. So Canadians are successful. But if you're in Canada and listening, I'd like to hear from you. Because there's no crying in hockey. You lost. Hellebuck was unbelievable in goal. He was brilliant. One of the greatest goaltending performances I've ever seen, dating back to Jim Craig against the Russians in the semifinals of 1980. That's how good that performance is. It was just unbelievable. So the rest of the Olympics was pretty cool. My wife's got an Olympic hangover today. She loves the Olympics. Watch it all day. And when she's not working and coming home, loves it. Loves it. So if you watch the Olympics, I'd like to get a couple of Olympic calls in. Jeremy Roenick, a two-time Olympian, one of the greatest American hockey players ever. He's going to join us at about 1:30, a little over an hour from now. So you got the Combine. You got Mendoza. If you want to talk about Max, I have no problem with it. Just don't ask me about Max. And I'm not being pompous. I'm just handling the story correctly. There's no news. It's all gossip. I don't gossip on the flagship of the Raiders. And if it happens, blame me like you like to do. You're going to blame me anyway. So just blame me if you don't like the outcome of that. But if you want to talk about Max and I think a good Max phone call the rest of the time would be on how important Max is to you, right? How important is Max to you to be on this team going forward? You are not a better team. You are not a better team without Max Crosby. Let me put that on record before it gets clipped and someone tries to take it out of context. In 3, 2, and 1. You are not a better football team if you don't have Max Crosby. I could give a crap about the picks. Max Crosby is great. He's elite. This organization's history has been built on elite players playing at the highest level of their ability and talent. Max Crosby is in that conversation. So whatever happens, happens. But I'm pro Max. I think Max should be here for his entire career. He's under contract, and until that changes, we'll handle that topic to the best of our ability. 702-365-9200 if you want to get through. You should always want to call this show. We have passion and energy. We're at the forefront of being passionate. You should be passionate too and contribute. Here's Shields Up. He begins in Connecticut.
Hey, JT, how you doing?
Doing that.
I'm taking my call.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to hear. Excuse me. Yeah, as far as the draft, I would love to get, of course, we're going to get Mendoza and the build the trenches, pick up the DT. I think we're going to go to the defensive line, address it. I don't think Clemson's going to be back. I think they're going to give Tyree a shot at defensive end. But the middle of the line, There's McDonald and Banks, State in Florida. And I don't think we're going to get Lee Hunter. I think, and then because we have depth, wide receiver, we drafted that last year. I think we go back in the third round, get the offensive line, and then all the fours, we go wide receiver and quarterback. I think 2 and 3 have to be offensive line, defensive line back. Build the trenches.
I would agree with you on that. I think number 2, look, the first pick in the second round, I'm fascinated with. I really am. Because Thursday night, Clay, as you know, is primetime TV. That's a television show Thursday night. Mm-hmm. It's only one round. It was a brilliant move, brilliant by Roger Goodell. Another reason he's going to get a gold jacket. He moved that to a standalone Thursday night. So at the end of that round, Clay, typically, all the insiders from all the networks say, oh my God, blank didn't get drafted. Oh my God, these 2 guys didn't get drafted. All the GMs go home and go to bed. They're in the war room to 2 a.m, and we go first in Raider Nation. That pick to me is going to be stunning this year because we're either going to definitely get a great player there or we're going to say, no, we're not waiting for that player. We're going back into the first round. We're going back to pick 19 or 22 because our guy's still on the board and we can get him.
That's the best medicine you could get for a team that needs it so badly. The impact player. And number 36 is going to be held with a lot of scrutiny of what to do and where to do. But as you know, like you said, people have fallen off that first round board. And what kind of value are you getting? Can you get a first rounder in the second round? Yeah, you probably can. Mm-hmm. But I don't think Spytek, the way he maneuvered last year makes me feel like he's in attack mode. And when he gets there, he's going to be looking to get the very most out of that first day.
Yeah, I agree. I think you want to get a lot out of that first day. I would appreciate some Olympic calls today on the hockey team. I would appreciate that because it's Monday. The combine is, everyone's traveling out there. There's no news today. There's nothing. I'd rather talk about the gold medal over Canada. We're supposed to be in a hockey town in Vegas where I don't hear it. We got a hockey station across the hall that does a good job. I don't hear enough hockey on this show, and it really bothers me because I love hockey. I grew up with it. We won the Olympic gold medal over Canada in hockey. That's about as big of a sports story as you can get. Let me know how it affected you. What type of patriotism and pride did that gold medal feel? Did it feel different? Were you alive in 1980 for it? My kids weren't. It was 20 plus years before they were born. And they loved this gold medal. Imagine, 1980. It's had a lot of similarities to 1980. I think 1980 was bigger because of the Cold War and Russia. But this was pretty big because we beat a great Canadian team in a overtime spectacle that was incredible. And it brings a lot of pride to our country. So let's go going. We're on YouTube here. We want more people enjoying this show, participating in this show. We are not a podcast until I leave. And then at night, this becomes a podcast. It's live. It's interactive. We got Mendoza coming. We got the first pick. It's time to wake people up, which I'm pretty good at. But I can't wake you up if you're slumbering. I need some people who are up already and want to talk about Raiders and winning the gold as we open up the show. Brought to you by the M Resort Spa and Casino. What a great property, man. Whenever you go, it's Freddie Biletnikoff's birthday, and I've had a lot of beverages with Freddie right there at the M Resort. So happy birthday to Fred Biletnikoff as we open up the show. 30 minutes, no Freddie calls. Let's get a Freddie call in or two, or maybe I'll just call Freddie and wish him happy birthday. And let's hear about USA winning. Jeremy Roenick in hour number 2. He's great on the radio. Can't wait to talk to him. And then we'll have a good time. Jarrett Bailey from USA Today at the top of the hour. So I'm open up on the phones for the next half hour. I'd love to hear from you.
Wake up with the morning tailgate.
He's the voice of the Raiders.
I'm in the know. The more I feel.
If you don't come to this show to hear about hockey and baseball, then get the hell out. Get the hell out and don't come back. We're a sports talk show. I could give a crap what you come here for. There's always an a-hole you got to deal with. Always some wise-ass little troll. I don't come here to talk hockey. Then F off and go somewhere else. There's plenty of YouTube channels for guys who aren't talking hockey.
casinos across the valley. Don't let the game get out of hand. Please bet responsibly.
Did you have an unexpected trip to urgent care?
I don't come here for hockey. Oh, good.
You've covered.
And we put Shannon Churchill just in timeout. Just in timeout. Little baby timeout. Hey, where's the Bricktator? Where's my son? Where's the Bricktator logo? Bricktator's out on a Monday, man.
.com is here to help. At Dollar Loan Center, you can get a signature loan up to $5,000. And with our instant funding, you get the money immediately after approval. You don't need a checking account. It's free.
There it is. Give me the expanded Bricktator, the bigger one. There. Oh, that's not it. There's the Bricktator. Can you do the Bricktator side by side? Yeah, that's it. Leave that up for a while. Leave that up for a while.
Capable, we're confident and ready for wherever life takes you. And now riding the 2026 Crosstrek Hybrid. Blended
Clay, how was your weekend?
ability and efficiency. Right now at Centennial Subaru, enjoy rates as low as 0% on some
Clay, how was your weekend?
Centennial
it was okay.
Subaru,
Good.
located at 95 and Ann Road. Just a short drive from everywhere. Because when it comes to the drive you love,
We watched some old VHSs with my mom
The
on
Vegas
Saturday
Golden Knights
night.
are rolling through
And
another
a couple of came from General Motors, like they did like the year in review.
Ice on the ice.
And
It's on
we
Seltzer.
didn't really know what it was about. My mom wanted us
Official
to play it.
Vegas
20
Golden
minutes
Knights.
in, we see
Must
her.
be 21.
And she's actually
Please
like
drink
from
responsibly.
1991.
Where are you going?
You know, in this video that General Motors put out.
The Swap.
Really?
I
Dealerships.
love
Yeah, it was
Fantastic.
great.
Can I go
Wow. How'd that come about?
We just had saved it for years and years and never really looked at it. You
Oh,
know,
that's
but my mom was
great.
like, you don't pop that in. So we had to go like, get a VHS player.
Okay, let's spend the afternoon.
You know what? On a side note, all the videos I took of my kids when they were growing up, like
Yeah.
hundreds of hours,
Yeah.
they're all on those cassettes,
Yeah.
and some of them are being digitized.
Good.
And it's so important that you don't drop the ball on that. Like, that's your life and your history. You have to digitize that, save it
Yeah.
for your legacy of your family.
Put it in a hard copy. And
Yeah.
that's your ancestry.com right there.
Yeah, that is.
Because those are the stories.
That. Take savings to the next level at nvenergy.com/powershift. PowerShift by NV Energy. This is what we do. Hey, Jeff, how's the new job working out?
Really sucks. Terrible
Yeah,
boss.
really, who's
Check
this?
is even worse. I gotta get a new job.
Truck
Hey,
you.
Dave. Hey, man.
What?
Good to see you.
Truck
Hold on
you.
one second. We'll
You
get
don't
you
have
in.
to curse at me.
Dude, you should check out Truck You.
Stock market is tanking.
His CDL life.
Stock market is tanking
Making clean money.
because
Okay.
the tariffs are at it again.
Nice.
Jesus Christ, with these tariffs, man.
Maps.
Pick a tariff and leave it alone, man.
.com.
God. And don't give me politics here. I know tariffs. I know stockbrokering. It's just, come on, man. We don't need this. We do not need this.
To their walk-in humidor, over 500 cigar labels to choose from. One of the largest whiskey,
Yeah, I like moving back into the first round.
live, local, and
There's nothing to talk about in Dodger baseball. They're buying championships at a rate that the Yankees never did. Yankees never spent this type of money, and the Yankees spent a lot. The Dodgers are deferring money, not paying players. They're deferring money. And I don't think the Dodgers lose this year. I mean, I thought the Dodgers should lose last year. And the year before, my Yankees lost to the Dodgers and were competitive, but not really. Dodgers won fair and square. But last year, Toronto should have beat the Dodgers, should have beat them multiple times. And this year, I don't see how the Dodgers lose. This is the year that worries me the most because I think the Dodgers might win easily. What's going to happen when the Dodgers play well?
Call 702-222-9999.
Like I say, when you have the mindset, the smarts, the instincts, and the intelligence, and the arm, and the mobility, even though he's not going to run like Lamar and Josh Allen, he can still beat you with his legs. When you need a first down on third and 8 to frustrate the defense, he can do that. He's pinpoint accurate. Like I said, when I see latent plays, guys panic, they force a throw, they're inaccurate, they take a sack, they don't throw it away. Everything latent plays at critical moments, Rich, he did perfectly. And he had some games where he had to come through late against some pretty good defense. That Phil Parker defense at Iowa was pretty doggone good, right? You know, you mentioned the Penn State game. So for me, I don't know what else Fernando Mendoza could have done this year. Like I say, taking that sack total was like 41 at Cal down to 18 during the regular season in Indiana. Did what he needed to do. You tell him what he needs to improve on, and he will work to make sure that mistake or that issue is not happening anymore.
All right, that's Mel Kiper, courtesy of ESPN. So the internet, there's a lot going on. The stock market's crashing today. Yeah, this is not a pullback. This is a significant crash. You can just look at that. The snowstorm in New York City is incredible because that's where I'm from, Long Island. Where I'm from in Long Island, 20 to 25 inches, 30 inches out in Montauk. I mean, we woke up this morning and turned on the Weather Channel. It was incredible. So we hope everybody's safe because we do have an audience there also. And the internet's about to break because of Dan Orlowski. Did you hear about this, Clay? Dan Orlowski tweeted out this statement and it's got 1.2 million views. Here it is. Studying the first 5 games of Mendoza tape. It's not what I expected so far. So that's engagement farming. He's putting that out. Okay, because he matters. I think he's a really good analyst. He wasn't a great quarterback, but he's in the NFL. He wasn't great, but I'm not saying he's not good. Cam Newton's better. He shouldn't have an opinion. No, I'm fine with Dan Orlowski. I think he does a fine job as an analyst. But this is what I've been predicting more so than anyone in sports media because of our association, all of us, with the Raiders. Mendoza going number 1. You can't name a person that said before me that here we go. They're going to start tearing this kid down. Here we go. They're going to start because we live in a tear-down society that now is run by social media. So we live in a tear-down society. You cannot debate that. We do it with politicians. We do it with CEOs. We live in a cancel culture. We do. We do. It's a fact, not fiction. So knowing that, you just can't leave Mendoza alone. Because you can't get clicks if you leave Mendoza alone. So if I wanted to get my numbers up, I would go and say, wow, I just watched Mendoza tape and it doesn't look good the first 5 games. I didn't watch the first 5 games. I think I watched maybe a half of one of them because Indiana was pretty good. I watched pretty much all the games down the stretch and every second of the postseason. So the only way this is going to work for people who want to be heard from and be considered anything is to tear down this kid if you don't have people paying attention to you. If you're in sports talk radio, if you're in social media, and look, if you really have a strong opinion that Mendoza is not going to be an elite player, get that out there. You want to get that out before the draft so you can say that, because if you're right, you'll get credit for it. How many people remember, because it was before social media, Clay, I think it was, there might have been MySpace, but how many people do you remember saying Jamarcus Russell's going to be a bust? I remember no one, because he wasn't going to be a bust. 10 teams were going to take him number 1, 10. And another 10 teams would have took him number 2. Do you remember anybody on record back in the day, maybe Mel or someone, that said he's going to be a bust?
I remember people changing their draft opinions after the effect.
Yeah.
I remember people going in ESPN and other places were changing their draft grades because none of them had bust. They had the complete opposite.
Yeah. So if you said that on record, wouldn't we know? Wouldn't we know the NFL insider today who said, man, Jamarcus Russell, don't take him number 1. He's going to be a bust. No, because it didn't exist. And we also didn't have Twitter. We didn't have that. So for Dan Orlowski, he's got everyone's going nuts on this tweet because someone responded and he went into the response and said, I'm going to get to the other games. Season just ended, so really getting into the draft. Only made it through 5 players so far. So what Orlovsky's done is he's done what we call engagement farming. He wants to engage his fans and farm for more clicks and a bigger following. So I guess he doesn't like the first 5 games of Mendoza's last season, where he went on to be the only quarterback to win the Heisman, go undefeated in that amount of games, the amount of total games, and go through that gauntlet of a team, beating Oregon on the road in Oregon, beating Ohio State, beating Miami. Oh, where was that game? In Miami. So here we go. Just get ready. And what I'd like your help from, and you could put it into our chat or anywhere else is I'd like your opinion on, or anybody, please document. That's what I'm asking. Document to me the people who are taking shots at Mendoza, because he's one of us, most likely, right? He's our guy. We're going to protect Mendoza. We're going to bring him into Raider Nation, and we want to clash with the people who are trying to tear him down. That's it. Open lines. We should never have one. 702-365-9200. The great Raider Dave in Denver is up next. Go ahead.
Hey, thank you. Great to hear you on the air. And thank you so much for coming back. I know that you're on a vacation. You heard it. And just always top notch when our pretty to listen to. You know, happy birthday to my favorite player of all time. There's only one NFL jersey I've owned. It's the away jersey. This kind of the color I wanted to go with. It sure looks great. It's nice and white. He played. He played.
Yeah.
Makes me realize how much more I'm. People out. With him as a kid. It's just number one thing. History for USA hockey, going back to 1980 when I was just getting out of high school, it was so interesting. But any story, there's something that hasn't happened in that long. It's got to be a huge story. I know that, this isn't a motorsports show or whatever, but what Michael Jordan just did in 2 weeks back to back, winning 2 NASCAR races with these drivers that some people probably never heard of, that's a huge story.
Yeah.
Anything with the Raiders coming up and Mendoza, it just seems to me that every single season when the Raiders start to look like they're going to get good, people just want to tear them apart. They want to tear them down. They want to take away the players. They want to cause the clique to go in a different direction. The people, what they don't realize, even I do, is people in this business, because of Twitter and X, all this, people get paid by these numbers.
Mm-hmm. They do.
They're substantiated numbers. It's not overtime. So people get paid for these. But it's really an issue. Be the solution of a great or get dumped. Thanks a lot for the time, G.
Yeah, that's interesting what Raider Dave says at the end. And he's like my Raider Mort, my new Raider Mort. He's got great knowledge of the history of the team. One of the things I said today, I had a beautiful morning with the Raiders in my home, and they taped a lot of stuff and asked me some opinions on some cool stuff historically. And then we talked currently about some issues. And I mean this because I butt heads with some fans that are just really difficult at times because they're just difficult, and I'll butt heads with them. I don't sit back, because I never see them. So you gotta push back a little bit. Probably shouldn't. But if you're not engaged and energized about getting behind this team now, there are not a lot. So what's good is I know how to speak for a living. I'm not Jimmy Fallon. I don't say giggle, giggle, giggle for 30 minutes. I think I know how to speak. And I will say this again to Raider Nation. If you are not completely behind what he said at the end, helping this team get better and be encouraging to them, I'm not saying leave the team. Why would I? I'd never say that to anybody. Don't leave, but just reassess what your role is going to be in trying to help, like Raider Dave. There's a time to be negative, and that'll be week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the upcoming regular season. If the Raiders lose a game or 2 or 3, and you're not happy about the game and a mistake was made, yeah, I'm all for that engagement and you getting upset that they didn't win a game. But as we sit here in February, March, with Mendoza on the clock, and a lot of good deals, and Freddie Biletnikoff's birthday, and a lot of other cool stuff. Clint Kubiak hired as head coach. I mean, it's a time for the better fans, the cream, to rise to the top and to kind of rein the other people in who right now are just getting to the point where they're just old and tired. I mean, how many times can you listen to a couple people in your circle, if you have them, bitch and moan before you say, get the hell out of my backyard. Get out of the bar. No, you're not coming back again. You're not invited to the barbecue next because you're always bitching and moaning about stuff. We've all been through it. We know what's been going on lately. We get it. I slam a lot of cups down. I get upset. But in February and March, he just can't run around and say, man, we got a lot of good things happening here. It's a good time to be a fan. I'm encouraged about this. And I think that's going to happen. I really do. I think a lot of people are going to get it. Is it because I'm mellowing as I get older? No. No, I'm not mellowing at all. I just don't have time for it as much as I used to have time for it, I guess. My good buddy, Stoner Dude, here in Las Vegas, man. How are you, brother?
I'm awesome, JT. You know, first, three things. First, man, I got to say happy birthday. I don't want to emulate too much of the last caller because he said so many respectful things, but the great Fred Biletnikoff, you know, I think the first time I really got into the Super Bowl and even cared about that kind of stuff as a kid is when they won Super Bowl 76, 77 year. I saw John Madden on the cover of the newspaper and went, wow, the Raiders, you know, it just caught my attention. And I've been following them ever since, man. Freddie B's been one of my favorite Raiders, and of course, in the later years when he was working with the team, I would go see him at Ricky's. I would go see him at all the different events locally, and he was just a very approachable, very cool dude. One of the most unlikely guys. You know, you think of the wide receiver position, it's all these big, strong, tall, dudes that are really athletic, and he had all those things. He was kind of like the Larry Bird of wide receivers.
Yeah.
You know, I know it's kind of a weird way
It's
to
good.
put it, but that's just the way I kind of see it. But anyways, yeah, the other thing is, man, when it comes to Jamarcus Russell, man, first of all, so far so good on Fernando Mendoza as far as my opinions. I'm seeing everybody, the same thing everybody sees. He checks all the boxes. It's hard. I can't even think of a bad thing to say about him. So right now, if that's what Clint Kubiak wants, and that's frankly, I'm pretty happy as head coach so far. I like the look of this new coaching staff. It's a very young, youthful-looking coaching staff. It's a whole new. It's the unknown, JT, and that's what I'm excited about. But as far as Jamarcus Russell, JT, I wanted Adrian Peterson that year. I knew he was going to be a bust that year. But when he won that game with LSU against Brady Quinn and the
Notre Dame,
I was like, Alex Davis is going to draft this guy. I just know it. But I was not up for it. But the point being is that's the history. We're focused on the future. And I was really trying to be really very respectful of Pete Carroll, and I always will. But I will say this, JT, lastly, I'm not a time to compete Raider fan. I'm a just win, baby Raider fan. That's what I want to see this year. I want to see relentless football, no nonsense. Let's go out there and win some games. Thanks for having me, JT. Have a great week, man.
You take care, buddy. Stoner Dude checking in. I like what he said, too. A couple of good calls this first hour. I like what he said. He's a just win fan. I'm kind of that way, too. I don't believe in tanking. Help this year to get Mendoza, right? You know, you might think what tanking is, others don't. You know, shutting guys down, whatever you want to think. I'm not here to change your life on that topic. We talk about it enough, but, you know, I'm a fan that wants to win every game. I'm not very comfortable talking about losing. I don't like losing. I grew up a Yankee fan. My whole life was about winning. So I don't like to lose. I don't like 2 years of losing or 5. So I've been talking, the word I use is reload. Reload. Don't rebuild. And I mean that. That was brought to you by the Black Hole, football's most notorious fans. Go to thebblackhole.com and get a lifetime membership. $60, you're a fan for life. You get to all the parties. You get treated like a member of the fraternity or sorority if you're a lady. Why don't you want to do that? Why don't you want to walk onto the footprint of Allegiant Stadium and say, I'm a member of the Black Hole? Really? I mean, they're letting you have that opportunity to be a member of football's most notorious fans. And a year-round sponsor of ours, and we'd like you to be a part of it. Be a part of the brotherhood and sisterhood. Go to thebblackhole.com and find out more, thebblackhole.com, especially with everything that's going on this offseason. Still no hockey calls 45 minutes in. That's a problem. It is. Not my fault. I did 10 minutes on it. I loved it. I'll continue to pound through. Anybody watch the hockey game, or was I the only bleeping guy up at 5 a.m. Pacific time watching it? USA, USA. Jeremy Roenick joins us next hour.
Wake up with the morning tailgate.
The intriguing part for me with McCoy is the number and the different types of quarterbacks that he has been around in his time in the National. Jake Delhomme helped him to his first Pro Bowl, Super Bowl appearance for the Carolina Panthers. Tim Tebow, Peyton Manning, Phillip Rivers. He has really seen every kind of quarterback.
The Morning Tailgate, weekdays at 7 a.m.
This is JT the Brick from Raider Nation Radio for MRIDE, the preferred shuttle provider of Allegiant Stadium. Ride like a pro, round trip to your favorite events at Allegiant Stadium. No more hassle parking, sitting in traffic, or waiting in long taxi or rideshare lines. MRIDE it, and you'll get in and out quickly. Go to mride.com to book your ride today. Use promo code BRICK for 10% off. That's mride.com, promo code BRICK. This is JT for the local 872, proud partners of Raider Nation Radio, led by Tommy White, building the city on time and on budget. Go to local872.com to find out about apprenticeships, career paths, all the public work zones, and the schedules that are happening here in our valley. I'm proud to be associated with the 872, proud partners of my show and Raider Nation Radio.
Big news, Las Vegas. PT's Taverns just changed the game. Introducing all new progressive jackpots linked across 65 PT's Taverns locations. We're talking both dollar and quarter progressives that hit on royal flushes and 4 aces with a kicker. Plus Keno progressives that hit on 7 and 9 spots. And here's the best part. Our 10-spot Keno progressive pays up to $200,000. All progressives exclusively available at PT's Taverns. Video poker links may vary between taverns. Check with your tavern bar host for details.
We're here with Chuck, founder of Dollar Loan Center. It looks like you have locations all over Southern Nevada.
Yes, sir. Over 25 area locations. You never have to travel far in Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, Henderson, Pahrump, Mesquite, or Laughlin to find a DLC. But the best part is saving the drive altogether and applying from the comfort of your couch at don'tbebroke.com.
I kind of like stopping by.
Good call, and it's really worth the drive. We've been processing our $5,000 short-term loans over 28 years, and our customers just love doing business with the DLC. In nearly every instance, we're around half the cost of the payday and title lenders.
Founded in Las Vegas over 28 years ago, DLC lends up to $5,000 in minutes. Stop by and...
All right, we're back. We're back.
Please.
We're back.
Online at don'tbebroke.com.
Yeah, we got a really small number in here today. A really small number. Just a quiet number here today, man. I don't know where the hell everybody is. Oh, maybe it's the off season. Maybe it's the off season.
It's online at jlrlv.com.
Plumbers, HVAC techs, contractors, and DIYers. McFadden-Dale Industrial Hardware has the tools, parts, and supplies to power your next project. Open early and stocked with everything you need. Stop by South Decatur near Russell. McFadden-Dale Industrial Hardware. Fast, easy, and built for the pros.
Modelo is an official cerveza of the Las Vegas Raiders and the JT the Brick Show. Modelo Especial is a rich, full-flavored Pilsner-style lager, delivering a crisp, refreshing taste. Brewed with fighting spirit since 1925.
Australia's biggest sport hits.
Why isn't Twitter working on YouTube? Live streaming. Twitter's experiencing issues with streaming. I've been hearing about that for like a month now. Well, what's going on with Twitter on the stream?
Hey, Jeff, how's the new job working?
Well, it's working, but I don't see it. I don't see it on my timeline. So if I don't see on my JT the Brick timeline, my live Twitter feed, it isn't working. Because I don't see it on the JT the Brick X.
Training. My brother got his CDL license.
It's not there. So if it's not there and I don't see it, that means other people aren't seeing it.
Classes with night and weekend times available. They will even help with payment programs. Check them out. Truck, the letter U, LV.com. Truck U. Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show. Brought to you by the Black Hole. Become a member of football's most notorious fans.
Freddie B has been one of my favorite Raiders, and of course, in the later years when he was working with the team, I would go see him at Ricky's. I would go see him at all the different events locally, and he was just a very approachable, very cool dude. One of the most unlikely guys here. You think of the wide receiver position, it's all these big, strong, tall dudes that are really athletic, and he had all those things. He was kind of like the Larry Bird of wide receivers.
Yeah. You want to cause the click to go in a different direction. A lot of people, what they don't realize, that you and I do, is people in this business because of Twitter and have all this. People get paid by numbers. There are substantiated numbers. It's not our stuff, but they get paid by that. But that stuff's going to be out there. But you know what? As Raider Nation, you either get behind it, you be the solution that was great fans for you. So.
We call that the quick turnaround by Clay Baker, brought to you by Finley Volvo Las Vegas. Drive by it every day. 215 at Rainbow. You can't miss it. Go see Mike and go get a new vehicle, a lease vehicle, an EV. Go change your life with a Volvo. You'll be much safer. You'll love the vehicle. Best stereo system in the world. Safety, safety, safety. Finley Volvo Las Vegas, proud partner of the show. So next hour, we're kind of booked up pretty good. We'll talk to Jared Bailey from USA Today. He's on his way to the Combine. Every day we'll have a Combine guest for you. Tomorrow we move up Vinny Bonsignor. We'll have Vinny on tomorrow. We'll also have Brandon Cristal from Guerrilla Sports in Denver. Denver's the rival of the Raiders. What is Denver doing within the division? So we'll have him on ready to talk about that. And then the rest of the week, we're just going to hopefully Q will pop on for a little crosstalk, and we'll get some of the other individuals who are there, the Raider talent that is assembled. Man, the Raiders have a booth and a big setup, a footprint over on Radio Row at the Super Bowl, and they do the same thing at the Combine. Silver and Black Productions are out there doing a really nice job. Also next hour, I'll get into LeBron James. James Worthy. Do we have that sound to play, Clay? Listen to what Pat Riley got a statue. I love how LA does statues. I'm a big statue guy. I want to see statues. Walking around a stadium, I want to see statues. And the Lakers did it again. They paid tribute to Pat Riley. And then they got blown out by the Celtics. Well, James Worthy, one of their greatest players, is also an analyst on TV. This is what James Worthy said about the Lakers.
This game to me wasn't about stats and rebounds and all that. All that is the norm. Mm-hmm. No heart. Weak. No heart, weak. And it's post All-Star, and we talked about what they needed to do before All-Star. I think they didn't achieve what they wanted to there. So now you get a break and they come back. Clipper game, okay. That was a tough game. They won. But tonight, this afternoon, was weak. It's the Boston Celtics. Okay, no Tatum. You're at home. You're in fifth place. You're trying to move up. You show really, to me, it was no respect for the uniform. Okay, when you come out and you get out rebounded, offensive rebound after offensive rebound, Pritchard, Jaylen Brown, you can sniff out weakness. Okay, when you do that, you can just dominate. That's what they did.
That's such a great soundbite from James Worthy. Oh, my God. He just eviscerated the Lakers, led by LeBron James and Luka Doncic. Eviscerated them. That's why you listen to people. I'm not saying James Worthy's the best analyst I've ever seen, but the reason why Barkley is, because Barkley went after Karl Anthony Towns. We'll have that later, and others. When you are able to speak the truth and you're a Hall of Famer and you're a world champion like Worthy, man, that was good. That was really good sound. Way to go, Clay. That's good stuff right there, because I watched a little bit of it, but the Celtics only play the Lakers once a year in LA, once a year in Boston. When you show up for those games and you get blown out and you don't show any heart, it's nice that you get called out by the legends of the game. That's good. We'll talk to Jared Bailey from USA Today, the NFL Insider, next.
His hits again.
All right, let's focus on the chat here. Let's throw some stuff out here. Let's get going. Imagine Twitter starts charging. They might. Everybody's charging, man. Anybody watching the new Game of Thrones? It's fantastic. Clay, are you watching your Game of Thrones guy?
I didn't know.
Yeah, the night. Yeah, there's a new prequel to Game of Thrones. It's really good. I'm trying to get the exact name of the night.
Which is what it was, the ABA
I finished that. It was great. Matter of fact, we have him on this week, the guy who did it. I booked him for later in the week.
Good story, Donnie.
Please bet responsibly.
The Vegas Golden Knights are rolling through another epic season.
A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Yes, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. It's the name of the show. It's really good. It's about this tall knight who's kind of goofy, and I didn't think I'd like it in the beginning. I thought it was going to have a little too much comedy, but no, it's pretty gory and good. So the new Game of Thrones. Yes, I watched Soul Power, the history of the ABA. Didn't like it. Loved it. Loved it. How many did you watch, Clay?
I've just started.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Substance use treatment. Low-cost treatment options may be available, so you and your baby can get healthy now.
Oh, Rich Eisen's putting his producer on a TV show. Rich Eisen's putting his producer on a TV show. Nice. Nice.
Today, SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org also has
Senior Raider, so Tahoe got the big snow a week or two ago. Now the snow's on Long Island.
healthybabies.org or call 2.
I don't know how many quarterbacks the Raiders are carrying. I think it'll be Mendoza. I think it'll be Aiden O'Connell. And after that, I don't know. You know, I'm a big Kirk Cousins fan. I love Cousins as a mentor, as a player. I like him a lot. You know, but I'm also a fan of if Mendoza goes number one, you play him.
Hey, Jared, this is Clay with JT's Brick Show. How are you?
UNLV.
I'm good, thank you. Is this a good time for a couple minutes? Cool. I'll put you on hold for right here.
Good 28. Never miss another show. Streams live. Listen to Mass Podcast 24/7 at lbsportsnetwork.com. It's Raider Nation Radio. KRLD Las Vegas. It's the JT the Brick Show.
You just get up every day and you take one step at a time. You keep going and then show up. We have a big mountain to climb, but we're not trying to do it all in one day.
Your silver and black holes to sound off for over 25 years.
It's really important to me that we're a gritty team the way that they were back in the old days. It's nothing that we say, it's what we do on the field. All the little things that win that have nothing to do with ski.
And now, here's JT the Brick.
All right, JT back with you as we continue hour number 2 of the show all over the globe on Raider Nation Radio, live on YouTube. And you can get us on the Raiders mobile app. The Combine is underway. And we're thrilled to talk to Jarrett Bailey, the insider, the NFL writer for SB Nation, en route to the Combine. Jarrett, does this one excite you? Because I'm based in Vegas and Mendoza is going number 1. So there's a lot of excitement here in Vegas, but I'm getting mixed messages if everybody's excited about the depth of this draft after the first few picks.
Yeah, I mean, it's not so much at the quarterback position, which, being the flashy, position in the NFL. If it's not a deep quarterback class, not a deep quarterback draft, some people tend to get a little bit less excited about it. But in terms of the depth of this class, especially when you look at like defensive backs, it is a deep class. So, we'll get to see these guys on the field in some capacity, doing these drills and whatnot and talking to the media, for the first time in this process. And, it's always a fun time this time of year, kind of gearing up for the draft, which, obviously will take place in a couple months, but always a fun time. Always good to see these guys get on the field and begin this process of the next stage of their career.
Why do you think this quarterback class did not live up to the hype? And next year with Arch Manning and some of the depth overall, that it looks like it's going to be a much better quarterback draft? Because I thought this one would be relatively okay. It wasn't going to be Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, and Drake May, but a lot of people are down on the depth of this quarterback draft after Mendoza. Why is that?
Oh, we came into the college football season with, a lot of hype for, guys like Tate Klubnik, guys like Drew Aller, and, both of them had disappointing seasons. And so when that happens, naturally their stocks are going to drop, especially for Aller, who, suffered a season-ending ankle injury. When those things happen, that's naturally going to, take away the depth of the class in terms of, the guys expected to go in the first round. Having said that, each year we start off this process with guys who are projected to go, third round, who, starting from the Combine up until April, jump into the first round. We saw last year with Jackson Dart. That was a guy who's projected to be a third-round pick, ends up going at the tail end of the first round. A couple years ago with Bo Nix, Michael Penix, neither of them were really expected to be first-round guys going into the Senior Bowl, and they both ended up going top 15 overall. So, over the next couple months with the combine and pro days, and as we continue to teams continue to go through the scouting process and learn more about these guys and watch them more. There's going to be guys whose stocks rise. There's going to be guys whose stocks lower a little bit. For all these mock drafts that we've seen so far, a lot of them only have Mendoza as the only quarterback going in the first round. I would be very surprised if that ends up being the case come April, because that almost always changes. And there's going to be teams that are willing to take shots at, guys who have the tools like Aller or like Klubnik, but, had disappointing seasons. So we'll see what happens, but I would be very surprised if we only get one quarterback in the first round. Naturally, these guys' stocks are going to just rise over the next couple months, just because that tends to be what happens.
Jared Bailey's our guest. Even though Ohio State did not win the national championship, it's clear to me that they have the best overall depth, it looks like, in this draft and the combine in general here. I mean, they're loaded. I mean, they got pros on both sides. I would assume, I don't have the exact date of their pro day, but I would think that every GM and scout would be at that pro day, because they have depth at every position, it feels like, available, maybe other than quarterback. But the defensive line, linebackers, they're always bringing in corners, and their receivers have been great the last couple of years. Does Ohio State look head and shoulders better than everyone when it comes to upcoming players drafted?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably going to be the case. And it's, not necessarily a surprise, just considering the guys that they do have. And look, for the most part, it's going to be the usual suspects when it comes to, the teams with the most guys drafted. It's going to be the bigger schools like the Ohio States. But, Penn State's going to be up there too. They got a bunch of guys, both running backs and Katron Allen and Nick Singleton. Obviously, quarterback Drew Aller, who's going to go at some point. But also, Denis Dennis Sutton on the defensive line. A couple of defensive backs that had really good seasons. So it's going to be the usual suspects, the Big Ten schools of Ohio State and Penn State, the Georgias, the Bamas. And obviously, Indiana's become a powerhouse over the last 2 years. They'll have their fair share of guys other than Mendoza that get selected as well. In terms of, the other schools that might fly under the radar, the Toledo safety is a guy who's expected to go pretty early. Chris Johnson, the cornerback from San Diego State, is a guy who could go day one. So, there's some under-the-radar guys from smaller schools who I think could sneak into the first round or go in the early portions of day two. But, when it comes to, the schools who we always circle every year, I don't think that's going to change too much in terms of how many guys they get drafted.
Jared Bailey's our guest, NFL writer, SB Nation, also the Steelers site producer, does a great job with the BTS Steel Curtain, really good content provider. So I want to dive in also and talk about the coaching carousel. Mike McCarthy in Pittsburgh. I give the Raiders credit. The one guy they wanted, it was risky. They had to wait till after the Super Bowl to make sure, and they had confirmation the week before on Clint Kubiak, but that's the guy they wanted. And I look at the rest of the coaches that were out there. John Harbaugh could have waited, Jared, another week and took over Buffalo with Josh Allen, but he wanted the Giants. So overall, your big picture on the coaching carousel from Arizona to Pittsburgh to Las Vegas, and who you think some of the winners or losers were?
It was chaotic, to say the least. Yeah. See, with Buffalo, that was the team that I thought would go with maybe Brian Dable, has obvious connections to that team. He's from Western New York. He was the Bills offensive coordinator for a number of years before he went to the Giants. Now he's in Tennessee as their OC. It looked like, he was one of the names that it got narrowed down to, and they ultimately got Joe Brady. There's a lot of frustrations with Joe Brady from the fan base this season, being too heavily reliant on the screen game and the short passing game. But, when you look at all the offensive numbers that they put up, they still scored a ton of points. And when you have Josh Allen, you're going to be, you're going to be in it at least. So I think what they need to worry about is just fixing the defensive side of the ball, which has been, an issue in the biggest games under Sean McDermott. And that's something that they really need to figure out. I think hiring Jim Leonard as defensive coordinator was a great hire by them. So as long as you have Josh Allen and, I like the coaching staff that Joe Brady's built, they're still going to be a team to watch for in terms of that Super Bowl bubble. The McCarthy hire at the Steelers, It surprised me just because of the history there, where they tend to go young. I mean, Bill Cowher was 34, Mike Tomlin was 34 when each of them got hired. Now, Mike McCarthy's in his early 60s, and so he signed a 5-year deal. I would expect that to be the total duration of the deal. If they wanted to add a year or two onto it once they get near the end of this first contract, we'll see. It depends on how this first 5 years stretch goes. But I was surprised by it. At the same time, though, you can do worse than Mike McCarthy. He's won everywhere he's gone. He had 3 consecutive 12-win seasons with the Cowboys. They just need to figure out the quarterback position in Pittsburgh. It's something that they haven't been able to figure out since Ben Roethlisberger retired, at least in terms of a long-term answer. But you can certainly do worse than Mike McCarthy. He's a guy, like I said, is a proven winner. He's won a Super Bowl. He's won both in Green Bay and Dallas. So I'm looking forward to it, as a Steelers fan and somebody who covers the team. It's something new and it's something different. And I think after the last decade of just rinse and repeat, it was time for them to move on from Mike Tomlin. And I think it was best for both sides to go their separate ways. And we'll see what this new era looks like with Pittsburgh. Harbaugh with the Giants, it's a we'll see type situation. If Jackson Dart can stay healthy, if Malik Neighbors comes back strong from his injury, same thing with Cam Scatterbo. Like defensively, they have a lot of really good pieces. They just need the offense to stay healthy, and their young core pieces to continue to get better. But if they do, then that's a team to watch for in an NFC East that is going through a lot of changes in its own right, where the Commanders and Dan Quinn led to Cliff Kingsbury, and there's a hot seat level with Dan Quinn. The Cowboys are figuring stuff out still with Brian Schottenheimer and the defense, because it was really bad this past season. And Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni are still there, but that's a team who's lost Jeff Stoutland, one of the best offensive line coaches in the NFL, are going to have a new offensive coordinator, a first-time play caller. There's no guarantee that the Eagles win that division again. So it's a division that's wide open. And if things go well for the Giants, they could maybe, surprise some people and, maybe win the thing. Who knows? Arizona was interesting to me with Mike LaFleur. And I think because of that hire, they could be a team to watch for in the Malik Willis sweepstakes, just because of the obvious connections with Matt LaFleur and Green Bay. So it was one of the more wild head coaching carousels of my lifetime, just because we usually don't see a number this big. And we usually don't see teams this good all move on from head coaches, where you had Baltimore, you had Buffalo, you had Pittsburgh, all move on from their head coach. And, in a division in the AFC North, it's crazy that Zach Taylor's the only guy left standing after this season. So chaotic is the word I would use to describe it. And I'm looking forward to seeing what all these new guys do in terms of their new situations. You said you're in the Vegas area with Clint Kubiak. We're going to see. I think it's written in pen basically that Mendoza is going to be the next quarterback. They can get some receivers in there to go along with Genty and Bowers and Mendoza. Then it's not a very high bar to get better from what they did this past season. But even if they only win 7 games or 6 games, but they show continued improvement and they're fun to watch, I think that's a successful first year for them.
Jarrett Bailey, as we wrap it up. So as you're en route to the combine, I just want to throw out a couple of topics. Just pick one that you're more passionate about and expound on it, please. The ability to go to an 18-game schedule from 17, or the globalization of the expansion model now to Berlin all the way to Sao Paulo. Are you good with that? And then streaming with all the paid streaming now, with what fans are forced to buy in addition to what they already pay for to stream other games. Which of those topics are you most passionate about?
I would say the first two. I don't want to see an 18-game schedule. I didn't want to see a 17-game schedule. I thought 16 was kind of the perfect number. We've kind of gotten used to 17, though, so I would much prefer to keep it at 17. They're not gonna. Eventually, it'll go to 18, and we'll get used to that as well. But yeah, I think 17 is a good number to keep it at. We don't need to get to 20 games at some point. That is too many. And like the expansion of international play, like I've been very outspoken about how much I don't like that, and that's not anything against like the places that they go, obviously, but it's a pain in the butt for teams to do. And we're having a game in Australia to kick off the season, and that long flight, that turnaround, like it benefits nobody. So I don't love it. If you want to do a couple games in London per year, whatever, do your 3 or 4 games in London. We don't need to go to Spain. We don't need to go to Germany. We don't need to go to Brazil in week 1. Don't need to go to Australia it's just so much, and it's such a pain in the butt for the players and everybody doing it. And it puts them at a disadvantage both going there and coming back, because then, you come back and you're in Australia. If you're the Rams, you're in Australia for the first week of the season, and you got to get reaccommodated to your own time the next week. It's just so much to deal with, and it doesn't need to be this way. I understand wanting to expand the game, but it's the biggest game in America by a country mile. The cap goes up a ton of money each year. The league makes more and more money every year. I think you accomplished the mission. We don't need to keep doing this. But they're going to keep doing it. And, I think Roger Goodell said that his goal is for there to be an international game every week. And that's just too much. So both of those, the schedule growing, the international games, I think it's just getting out of control. And we can temper down on that quite a bit. And I think everybody would be okay with that.
Jared, enjoy your time in Indy as always. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming on with us. A really good segment. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely, man. Have a good one.
You got it. Jared Daly joins us from SB Nation en route to the Combine. So I don't need to talk to him at the Combine. I just talked to him in the car. Same thing. It really is. It's the same thing. With the Hall of Fame, we had Tim Brown on, not on Radio Row. We had him on the phone. It was great. So that's how we do it here. Q's going to be there. He's going to knock it out of the park because he's at the Combine. So is Vinny. We'll have Vinny on tomorrow. And we're trying to get the schedule to be conducive with our schedule here and get it going. Clay, so when we talk about our callers, I just had an iOS Apple phone update, and my whole phone just went and clicked on and a light went on, and it's downloading the new software.
Yeah, the update's supposed to come today or tomorrow.
I didn't give him permission to the update. It just hit my phone. You know what I must have done? I must have agreed to something in the settings that said, automatic updates, and look at that. And, the thing shuts down. I'm not a conspiracy theorist about this is an interesting topic. I'm not a big believer in Big Brother watching us, but I'm a big fan of Meta. Stock getting hammered today for no reason. Market getting hammered, different topic. But I have a couple of Alexas in my house. I love Alexa. Mm-hmm. I love it. Play a lot of my music in my home throughout my house by just saying words. And then all of a sudden, I'm opening up my social media, and a lot of the things I say seem to be showing up in advertising and all that. And I wonder who is listening. Because at night, I do my radio show. Tonight, I do it in my home studio, and I have an Alexa in the room. And I could be talking about something random about the Lakers or Oklahoma City Thunder. And then the next day, I'll open up my Facebook, and I'll see an ad for something with Oklahoma City, and I'm like, were they listening to the radio show? How do you feel about that? Is Big Brother watching with our phones?
Well, it's like in Big Brother terms from Orwell's 1984, Big Brother is listening and then acting on you, not giving you ads. They're tracking you down, silencing you. In this regard, it's just like we're giving you the convenience of, we know what you're thinking, we know what you're wondering. Like last week, I had to deal with some crazy outdoor irrigation issues at my mom's house. I mean, it was calamitous. And I wasn't looking online for anything, but obviously my phone was hearing me dropping a bunch of F-bombs, dealing with the plumbing outside. And next thing you know, on every platform of my social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, I'm getting inundated with outdoor irrigation problems. Call this number. We can help. And so it's like, even at my lowest moments where I feel like I'm not getting any help or support, Big Brother's there. Let me know.
I grew up cutting lawns and being a landscaper, planting bushes, trees, hedges. I've done a lot of landscaping in my life, but I'm not a handyman. If the sprinklers break, I got a guy. I'm telling you, I wake up in fear with my house that if my sprinklers break and it's underground, that dream where you wake up and they say, we can't figure it out. We have to dig up from the curb. Right? Or the water comes in.
That's a nightmare in this town.
It's a nightmare in this town.
Yeah.
And also, because I don't think Big Brother's listening, leave me alone if it's windy and my sprinkler water goes into the street. No, my sprinkler system is perfect. Some mornings it's windy and the water will blow into the street out of the natural wind that is happening on the mean streets of Summerlin. Clay, I don't need a flag put down in front of my house and a warning, because a lot of people give grief to the parking attendant, the parking people, the violation people.
Oh, yeah.
That's a tough job. You can get injured in that job. Some people go crazy. If you're giving them a ticket, like you got some people that get aggro and nuts. But do you have the water police in your neighborhood like I do? I got the water police in my neighborhood.
Yes, I do. And I've often wondered, like, how could I ever be singled out for anything when you can see this person has not paid attention to their front lawn and it just drains down the street every morning, same time every morning.
I'm surprised the water cops haven't caught that home.
I have to feel like somebody's had to, because everyone loves to rat somebody out, so they can earn points on with the HOA in Summerlin. So, hey, let's deflect the blast from my piece of mess and blame it on somebody else. But the water police is something where it's like, hey, this is a natural resource that we have to covet this water. And everyone gets blasted for it. And you know what I also love is like people who get yelled at if they have like the air blower and they're blowing the debris around from cutting the branches and the bushes, and it's a windy day, so it's just kind of blowing everywhere.
Yeah,
so the leaf blower, it makes no sense, but yet people are still getting dinged because, well, you had your leaf blower. We heard that, but now the debris is in your neighbor's yard. We don't like that at all.
A couple things on that topic before we get to Jeremy Roenick coming up. Why hasn't Elon, who invented the Boring Company, which is the greatest company in the world, if I could put my life savings into one company, if they were public, it'd be the Boring Company. They're building the tunnels under Vegas. It's one of the greatest companies. I was privy to it years ago. It's unbelievable. Why hasn't Elon invented the silent leaf blower? You think that rocket that goes up and lands?
Yeah.
Why can't we invent a silent leaf blower? Why is that impossible? But we now have rockets that go up and land, and we can build underground, but we can't invent a silent leaf blower.
We don't even know when the rockets are coming and going. That's how quiet and effective they are. I can hear a leaf blower 3 blocks away at 7 in the morning.
And I don't say many things in my life because I'm a believer in life. I'm not a negative like this. I will never, ever be on an HOA board. I don't know how those people live with themselves. To be on an HOA board and rat on your neighbors and go on a message board and rat on your neighbors, stay away from me. I don't want to be on your HOA board. I don't want you coming to my house. Get off that HOA board, man. You got to be wired, man, a certain way, man. Like you had a job your whole life and then you're retired and you want to go jump in on the HOA board to kind of bring some grief to people. Not me, man.
Those are the guys who read Orwell's Big Brother in 1984 and be like, you know what? I like Big Brother. Big Brother's got a point there.
Yeah.
I want to follow in their footsteps and get a Big Brother jersey.
That's it. All right. We got Jeremy Roenick coming up here in a little bit. I've been shut out on hockey calls, which is really bizarre. I thought we'd do a whole show today on the Olympics beating Canada. I hate when we swing and miss on topics because we shouldn't, especially on a station that talks sports. Were you motivated by the hockey game? I did. I watched the whole thing. I'm proud that I watched the whole thing because it was on at 5 in the bleeping morning. We're brought to you by the DeCastroverde Law Group. The Brothers Win. BrothersWin.com. Alex and Orlando DeCastroverde.
Oh, okay. I'll let him know. That's good, man.
Necessary roughness.
Trevor says with the staff that he's put together, it's not right. I love kind of the staff that he's putting together. Young, hungry, but it also has a mix of guys who've done it. And he told me, I have to hire the guys that I can ask the questions that I don't know. I've got guys with head coach experience.
I'll let him
around the game for a long time that can help me for the things that I don't know. As Clint Kubiak goes into his first year as an NFL head coach.
Don't miss Unnecessary Roughness, weekdays at 2.
Boyd Gaming is the official and exclusive local casino partner of the Las Vegas Raiders at Allegiant Stadium. Bring your friends, have some fun, but always bet on black. Visit their 10 casinos across the valley. Don't let the game get out of hand. Please bet responsibly. This is JT for the local 872, proud partners of Raider Nation Radio, led by Tommy White, building the city on time.
All right, we'll stay here for Jeremy Roenick, who's a friend of a friend. JR is a friend of mine, but not enough where I could say we're great friends, but I've known JR for a while.
Schedules that are happening here in our valley. I'm proud to be associated with the 872, proud partners of my show and Raider Nation Radio.
We want you and your family, two-legged and four. Join us on Saturday, February 28th from 10 to 2 at Exploration Peak Park at Mountain's Edge for Paws at the Peak. There'll be food, music, pet contests, great vendors, and lots of furry and even feathered friends. Admission is free. Plus, look for some fun activities with Eric Roy Law Firm. That's Pause at the Peak at Exploration Peak Park at Mountain's Edge. Brought to you by Findlay Chevrolet, Lotus Broadcasting, and Fox 5. See you there.
Scammers are getting more convincing every day. Some scams are using AI to clone voices, create realistic profile photos, and even fake video calls. They may sound like a loved one.
All right. What do we got in the chat? What the puck is smocky? Is that a wise ass talking hockey, or is that just a funny guy?
This is a red flag. If you receive a call, text, or email asking for money, pause, hang up, and call the person back using a phone number you know. Consider creating a family verification phrase to confirm identities during emergencies. Never send money using gift cards, crypto, or wire transfers. Legitimate organizations will not demand payment this way. Remember, if you see something, say something. For more information, visit oem.nv.gov. Sponsored by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the Nevada Office of Emergency Management, Homeland Security, and your local emergency manager's office in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
When it's time for a new AC and heating unit, don't just call anyone, call the boss. Maybe you have some plumbing projects around the house. Well, you need to call the boss. Boss Plumbing and HVAC is family owned and operated, serving Southern Nevada since 2015. There are no surprise costs or hourly rates. Get a totally free estimate with upfront pricing from AC repairs to leaky pipe.
All right, let's do some radio here.
AC and heater. Don't just call anyone. Call the boss.
Hear on anything about Henry Ruggs? Yes, I heard that Henry Ruggs is training. He's coming back. And I would assume he's 100% coming back to play football. He's a football player, very good football player. Everything he did with the accident, he's paying the price. I always mention Tina Tintor, out of respect to her and her dog that were killed in the car accident. And I would assume that he's going to come back and play football in the league. I don't expect it to be in Vegas, but he's going to get a chance to play football again. And we'll see what happens.
Space technology.
I know he's training. I know where he's training. I know he's planning on 100% coming back. So,
Innovation and community joined today. Proudly serving Las Vegas for 23 years and counting. Les Olson IT.
Call out JR a little
Business
early?
better.
no,
No.
I would just do 1:30.
Okay.
Yep.
Modelo is an official.
Yep. So sound, Jack Hughes. Why don't you come out with the goal,
Right.
and then I'll throw to Jack Hughes.
Delivering a crisp, refreshing taste. Brewed with fighting spirit since 1925.
Water bill higher than usual? Wonder where all that water is going? High water bills usually point to an underlying problem.
Pacquiao Mayweather Pacquiao, Clay, announced at the Sphere.
Wow. A rematch?
No guesswork, just
Good
clear
God.
answers.
That was the no-hitter of fights.
Worried about your water bill? Call Silver State today.
I think since fight was
736.
yeah, since expiration the first time. Let's check it out
About
now.
your car payment? Don't be. Drive happy with a Westar Credit Union auto loan. Whether you are ready for something new or want to refinance your current ride, we've got you with affordable payments and easy approvals. Picture yourself behind the wheel, windows down, music up, on the road to what matters most. Apply today at westar.org or stop by your nearest branch. All loans are subject to approval. Terms and conditions apply. Must be a member to borrow. Membership requires a savings account with a minimum balance.
This is JT for Las Vegas's premier cigar lounge, La Casa Cigars and Lounge at Tivoli Village. You're going to be blown away like I was when I stepped into their walk-in humidor. Over 500 cigar labels to choose from. Plus, they feature one of the largest whiskey.
That is Saturday, September 19th, Clay Baker. Pacquiao.
Okay.
September 19th is in the heart of Raider season.
The Mexican Independence weekend that they like to work with.
Show. Brought to you by Local 872, your workforce solution.
Now, Jack, it's straight to Butters. Rock across the coast. Jack, he's switching. We're getting this beat from the United States. For the first time since the 1980s, the United States takes the ball.
Oh, that was so beautiful. Welcome back, JT, with you. We're going to have Jeremy Roenick coming up here in a moment. He was a great American hockey player, just a great hockey player in general. He'll join us in a few minutes. Excited to talk to JR, and he's a Hall of Famer, a two-time U.S. Olympian, and a friend. I go back with him a long way. I haven't talked to him in a while, so I think that'll be good as Team USA won the gold. Jack Hughes, the game winner. Here's what he said after the game.
I love the USA. I love my teammates. It's unbelievable. The USA Hockey Brotherhood is so strong, and we have so much support from ex-players. I'm so proud to be American today.
This was such an incredible game to grind out. I mean, you're bleeding right through it just looking at you right now. Can you just talk about how difficult this gold medal was to win?
Unbelievable game by Hellebuck. He was our best player tonight by a mile. Unbelievable game. Unreal game by our team. That's just a ballsy, gutsy win. That's American hockey right there. That's a great Canadian team, but we're USA. We're so proud to be Americans. Tonight was all for the country.
What does this gold medal mean to USA Hockey?
It's everything. Like I said, USA Hockey Brotherhood means so much. Look at these guys. We're such a team. We've been together for 2 weeks. We're such a team. The USA Hockey Brotherhood is so strong. We're so proud to win for our country.
That's great. Jack Hughes, and I don't care where you stand in the world politically. That was one of the greatest post-game comments I've ever heard. All he wanted to do was talk about his country. That's great. And don't get all crazy and whacked out and triggered politically. It was too much about his country. More people should speak. Just let it go. Let it go. What he was able to say, he was proud at that moment. Just like Jeremy Roenick, proud to be a two-time USA Olympian, a Hall of Famer, a tremendous commentator throughout his career in sports, from podcasting to his network. And I've known him a long time. We have great mutual friends. JR, good to talk to you. I hope you're doing well. Great time to have you on after USA Hockey wins the gold. How are you?
Jeez. Be on with you, buddy. And yes, we go back a long ways, and the friendship is deep, and we share a lot of things. But we know what we share the best right now. We share a gold medal. We share a gold medal. We share a gold medal with our country, with our players, and USA Hockey, both in women's and men's. What an amazing day to be American today, buddy.
Yeah, JR, and I got to ask you, when you were in those locker rooms with the jersey on, I want to dive into it deep on the adjustments that are made in a 1-1 game. I mean, what the hell is going on? What can you say to a team, a Herb Brooks moment or a current coach, when you're 1-1 and McJesus is on the other team and they got snipers and you got a goalie playing the way he is? What inspiration do you get in between the second and third period or going into overtime?
Well, listen, if I was in that room with those guys and knowing and seeing how that game was being played, I mean, let's not. We all have eyes. Mm-hmm. There's no question who the better hockey team was in terms of the play. I mean, they had 42, 43 shots to Americans' 27. They had breakaways. They had empty nets. They had all sorts of opportunities, and they were their pressure that they were on, and the Americans were holding on and holding on and holding on. But what they didn't have is they didn't have the best goalie. U.S. had the best goalie in Hellebuck. He was the better player of anybody on the ice yesterday, and in a one-game series, what you get in the Olympic gold medal game, anything can happen, and a goaltender won the gold medal. I mean, obviously it's a big team event, but wasn't Hellebuck yesterday, we'd be a silver medal yesterday. That's just basic truth. So what I said, we're going into overtime, and we're fortunate to be here. They've missed empty nets. They've missed breakaways. Our goaltender's on fire. There's something happening here. There's a little fate that's happening here. Somebody is telling us it's our time, and let's go out and do it. And I'm sure all of them are like, they were surrounding their goaltender. I think they were playing for their goaltender at the end of that game. And it's fitting. It was a fitting ending to an amazing Olympic year.
Absolutely. Jeremy Roenick is our guest, legendary hockey player, legendary broadcaster. So what's it like with the 3-on-3 and the evolution of that? Because it seemed like Canada was kind of bitter about it. And I was growing up, I was there for the Islanders when they won 4 cups in a row. And I've always remembered overtime hockey in the Stanley Cup Finals, a big part of the history of the sport. Have you evolved on that topic at all, or you just play by the rules that they give you and put in front of you?
Listen, the great thing about rules is they apply to both teams.
Yeah.
There was not one team. In actuality, you have 3-on-3 benefits Canada more than Americans. Looking at McDavid, McKinnon, Celebrini, Makar, the guys that they had on their roster. I'm not saying that U.S. didn't have powerful players up the same, but I mean, if you had to go down the best players in the tournament, 5 of the first of the top 6 would be on Canada. It's 3-on-3 for each. And Canada actually won the quarterfinals on a 3-on-3 overtime when Martyr scored, but they didn't complain about the 3-on-3 there, right? They kept moving on. Listen, you got to win the game the way that the rules play out. It was 3-on-3. If it was 5-on-5, who knows what would have happened? You know, I think it's a cop out to blame the rules. Rules are forever changing in the game. They're changing in the dynamics of the game. Different rules, and when you start blaming the rules, that's just being a sore loser.
They are our guest. So being a part of this and a big part of your legacy and career playing for your country, the way they put this team together with the Hugheses and the Kachucks and the politics, take me back behind the scenes, because you're considered one of the greatest American-born hockey players of your era. Was it politics? Are there guys that are left at that you're like, no way, he needs to be there? Or what's the final cut like as you're coming together as a team?
Well, the great thing about hockey is there's so many players that could be on these teams.
Yes.
In Canada, both in America, and in every country, right? You're going to get some surprises of people that aren't on that team. And in building that team, I think Billy Guerin did, and Canada did the same thing, by the way. They built that team to withstand a lot of different situations that can arise in a international. They needed grit. They needed toughness. They had JT Miller on. They had certain players from the U.S. that were on there that had a certain in the locker room presence. JT Miller is a very big in the locker room presence. They had Trocheck on there, who's a very good defensive player, good face-off guy. Different aspects of the game you have to build into a team. You don't just take the best goal scorers. There's not having just the best goal scorers is not going to get it done all the time. You need to have a lot of diversity, and I think the U.S. team did a good job with that. I mean, look who was on Canada. They had Tom Wilson on Canada, who's more known for his toughness and his physical play than anything else. So you could have said Robertson should have been there. You could have said Popfield should have been there. There's no question about it. But a team is built for a lot of different reasons, and you're going to take heat no matter who you pick.
Jeremy Roenick, as we wrap it up, what's the difference between Stanley Cup playoff pressure and Olympic hockey pressure?
Number one, you're playing for millions and millions, hundreds of millions of people if you're playing for your country. And you're wearing the red, white, and blue, which brings a whole different dynamic of pride and responsibility. And number two, it's a one game. You don't get 7 games to come back, and you lose one, you're done. So that pressure to get it done in the moment becomes extremely, extremely difficult and high pressurized.
What's it like when you're Jack Eichel and you have Mark Stone playing in Canada? I'm in Vegas, as you know, you got Hannafin and players on the same team. A couple come home with the gold, a couple get the silver, and then they're back on the ice to try to win a cup, man. That's unique.
It is unique. Question when they get back in their original team, there's going to be nothing but gratitude, respect, and excitement to get back to their regular season and go for that next big thing, which is the Stanley Cup. So, and they're so respectful. That's why hockey is the best, because they represent the game the best, they represent their teams the best, and they represent themselves the best.
What's going on with you? I've met your wife. You've got a great family, your real estate, your jobs, everything you've done as a broadcaster, podcasting, now as an author. And what have you learned over the last 5 or 10 years? Because I still believe you're one of the best and most important voices that we have on any platform, because you're courageous with your opinions and you have strong opinions. And sometimes we see that in sports, other times we don't. What's coming up and what's next for you?
I appreciate that, JT. It means a lot to me. Obviously, I am not afraid to speak my mind, and my mind has changed a lot over the last, especially the last 2.5 years. I have really taken a real hard look at my life and what's important, and the way I want to be remembered, and for the things that I do, and for the father that I am, and for the husband that I want to be. And I'm living in a huge world of peace right now. I've brought Jesus into my life and have really tried to become a better person. And that doesn't mean that I'm not going to still tell the truth and see what I see, because sometimes I see different than other people. And not that I'm wrong, I just have a different opinion. And I think that's one thing that our country needs to really take a hard look at, is that the great thing about our life is we can have different opinions and different outlooks, and it doesn't mean we have to hate people or be mad. Just, I'm going to do whatever I can do to bring happiness, to bring smiles, and to bring unity. And if that means, whether it's a podcast or coming on your great show, or doing whatever, I have the ability to go on Just Waters tonight on Fox and talk about this great country. And my businesses are growing. I'm helping people in my businesses and representing Blackhawks, and I couldn't be more proud and happy of where I am in my life. Yeah. Now I get to talk to you and expose that. So thank you for that question.
It's interesting. My follow-up is, at times, I've always said this and wrote a book about it, when a door closes, another one opens, and you don't see it at that time. You're focused on maybe a door closing, or there's something happening in your life. And part of having the gratitude that you have now in your life is what you were able to handle, and how you're able to handle it as a husband and a dad and all that. It really is great to hear that you're in such a good place in your life, because there's a lot of people listening that can't get there, JR. They want to hear this because they're going through something, and they're saying, I want to come out on the other side. And you feel like you are, and got a big, full life and a long life in front of you.
Everybody has a chance. Everybody has a chance to make a decision, and decisions in our world are very, very important. And we make hundreds, not thousands, of decisions a day, and it's making those right decisions. And I will say, one of my biggest problems that I had growing up is I wasn't present. I wasn't present and really took in what I was doing and who I was with and what it meant, what I was going to say, how I was treating somebody, the decisions that I was going to make. That decision was going to take my life on a different path. Every decision I made was going to alter the path. It was going to take me either to success, it was going to take me to failure, it was going to take me to happiness, or it was going to take me to sorrow. And I found that if I just stay present and live in present, that if I just make better decisions and be honest with myself, be honest with my kids, my family, my friends, my wife, I can just do that I'm going to put great energy into the universe, and the universe is going to give it up and have a positive attitude. That's where I changed.
Well, if it's not going to be in Vegas or Scottsdale or Chicago, let's sit on a beach with Steve on, have a beverage, have a great dinner on some balcony, and look out at the waves in Del Mar or La Jolla Shores, and connect again, man. It's been great to talk to you, because knowing coming off the gold medal and what it means for this country, you're the perfect guy I wanted to talk to. Continued success, my friend.
Thank you, JT. I'll be in Vegas on the 13th and 14th of March. Call me. We'll get together.
Book it 100%. Guaranteed. I'll see you then, JR.
Okay, JT. Be good, buddy. Love you.
Love you too, man. Jeremy Roenick. Wow. That was really deep. I hope you enjoyed that. Great guy. And again, he was unfortunately canceled for something that he said, and I don't believe he should have been. And he took it. He took it, and he didn't cry about it. He wanted to get his name out there again, and he's tremendous. I mean, he talks about his faith and what he just had in his faith and what it means to him to be a husband. I know his wife a little bit, and we have a great mutual friend, my buddy Steve. He golfs with JR a lot, so I've golfed with him and been out and at the American Century Golf Tournament for years. We got to know each other, and I'd love to tell stories like that or interview people that have something to say about how their life has changed or evolved. It's happening to me every day. It's happening to other people. You know, things happen in your life, and it's not all rose-colored glasses. How do you handle that? And how do you get through it on the other side? How excited did he just sound to talk hockey, the United States, take us behind the scenes, and then at the end talk about the gratitude that he's having in his life? I thought that was outstanding. Thanks to Jeremy Roenick. Follow him on all of his social media. Really good guy. That was great. I'm loving this show today. Everything I wanted to talk about, we're talking about. Jump on in, and we'll close it out. 702-365-9200. Q, live from the Combine, coming up next.
It's the morning tailgate.
Yeah, that was good.
Some of the past number one overall quarterbacks in their rookie season to win-loss total. Joe Burrow,
That was great. That was really good.
Played.
So both of those for tonight?
16 games played. Trevor Lawrence,
and the Las Vegas whiskey, it is now.
Hey, I'm out of here. Great show. I almost forgot you. I almost forgot you. How did I do that? Because I had a long day and it was busy. Appreciate the bricklayers. Please hit like, subscribe, and share. Mad Dog Sports Radio tonight.
The official